Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's very nice to be here. Sorry, it's my first time. It's a song called Heirlooms. It's inspired by two pictures which were at my grandma's house. I lived for the first 10 years of my life on a farm in West Lancashire with my twin brother, my mum and my grandparents. And these two pictures were on the wall. One was red flowers, the other was yellow. They were on like wooden panels, painted by my grandmother's mother's best friend. And she always said, when you grow up, and if you grow up and leave home, and you can have one each. So yeah, I've got them both at home because my OCD says I can't have one of a pair on one side of a fireplace. So it's a song called Heirlooms anyway. Alice cleaned the parlour, the sherry glasses gleamed, an endless stream of cigarettes dropped ashes down her sleeve. Once she'd led the horse and cart, a dairy girl she'd been, but that was then, this was now, she kept her brasses clean. Sergeant went to evensong, like many did back then, to worship an elusive god who was whittling down her friends. And then she'd go and visit Alice, week on week she came, a crumpled, twisted figure on the twisting country lanes. Together they knocked back the sherry to loosen tongues. It made them merry, they whiled away the hours in the way old friends do. And they poked fun at the menfolk while they weren't around. How they looked like wrinkled leather and they smelled like Nuki Brown. They strummed the ukulele, singing all the while, a gift from the Italians when they left in '45. And they talked about their families, their grandkids, daughters and sons, and handing round the heirlooms before their time was done. Now we see them in the bric-a-brac, in the pictures on our walls, portals to another time, we hear their voices call. But objects are just objects, on shelves or on the wall. They live on through their values they've handed to us all. Together they knocked back the sherry, it loosened tongues, it made them merry, they whiled away the hours in the way old friends do. But objects are just objects, on shelves or on the wall. They live on through their values they've handed to us all. They live on through their values they've handed to us all. Now Alice cleaned the parlour, the sherry glasses gleamed. It's finished, thank you. Let's get me happy ones out of the way first. And this next song is my tribute to our 1970s health and safety culture. We had one thing that stood between us and certain death was a cartoon cat called Charlie. It's called What Charlie Said. I tried to surf a duck pond, went in over my head. Like the fool I was, I almost drowned. I kept some toxic germs in the mess beneath my bed, amongst half-eaten and the scraps I left around. I kept a jar of angry bees I captured with a net. I drank from puddles, washed myself in ditches. My skinny little legs bore my nettle bed encounters. I've had my share of bruises, cuts and stitches. But I made it to adulthood, blemished but undead. I made it to adulthood, despite what Charlie said. Charlie was a scruffy cat, whose job it was to shield us from harm. He had no lives, I used up more than that. That's just life on a farm. So I sit here in my padded room, wrapped in cotton wool, knowing that I've pushed my luck so far. My broken bones are souvenirs, and you could see my story by joining up the spots which are my scars. But I made it to adulthood, blemished but undead. I made it to adulthood, despite what Charlie said. Made it to adulthood, blemished but undead. I made it to adulthood, despite what Charlie said. I was a really clumsy kid, and clumsy kids and farms aren't really a good mix. But my friend's mum used to always say, "We tell them Will's coming round, hear the milk bottles getting kicked over." This next song is about watching your kids grow up. I've left mine at home tonight. My little ones are 26 and 23. But they're still my kids, and we always will be. So it's a song called Fire Engines. It's just how quickly we all grow up. The journeys began from the labour suite, amongst all the mucus and linen. A blaze of flowers and meconium showers sent our senses spinning. While we searched high and low for a manual, we did not have a clue. So we winged it and we rode our luck like most new parents do. Each night was an eternity of fighting new frustrations. We were voyagers on uncertain seas to an unknown destination. A clueless crew, but with good intentions, learning as we go. gave them voices, fed them words, stood back and watched them grow. But I still point to fire engines when I'm driving my car, and I still wave at choo-choo trains. I guess old habits die hard. They built a world around themselves, they filled it with music and prose. They had SpongeBob's take on morality, their father's prehensile toes. But I would not trade one single day, despite all the tantrums and tears. Half the time they came from me on our journey through the years. And I still point to fire engines when I'm driving my car, and I still wave at choo-choo trains. I guess old habits die hard. Well, I watch them grow. I think I grew too, faster than I can believe. Now wherever they go, whatever they do, they'll still be tugging my sleeve. And I'll still point to fire engines when I'm driving my car, and I'll still wave at choo-choo trains. I guess old habits die hard. I guess old habits die hard. Other emergency vehicles are available. This next song is about intergenerational division. Back in my day, it was so you look like you go and live in Russia, you were in your punk haircut and all that stuff. Yeah. And nowadays, it's all online. It's quite unnecessary and nasty and stuff. So it's a song called Changing of the Guard. It goes on perpetually, doesn't it? You know, the older generations and the younger generations taking over. It's a bit reluctant in some parts, I think. All he needs is love, 'cause times are changing. For every clock he stops, 10 more will take his place. And empathy and kindness are not on Harry's radar, or in the sneer that haunts his face. From a generation that's lost in rage and righteous indignation, like his father and his father's father too. A timeless looping ritual of knowing so much better than the wussy generations coming through. So Harry has a problem, but Harry doesn't know. The world moved on without him and his heart bears down on the young, because he doesn't understand them. He's not ready for the changing of the guard. Prophecy perpetuates, he's turned into his father. He rails against a world that's yet to come. Well, he might have had more kindness and a little understanding if instead he turned into his mum. See, Harry has a problem, but Harry doesn't know. The world moved on without him and his heart Still the tides will ebb and flow, and night will follow day. He's not ready for the changing of the guard. Harry is exhausted by a war inside his mind against a future he won't see. And when he's in his nursing home, the objects of his scorn are the ones who'll wipe his arse and make his tea. See, Harry has a problem, but Harry doesn't know. The world moved on without him and his heart. Still the tide will ebb and flow, and night will follow day. He's not ready for the changing of the guard. For the changing, ready for the changing, is not ready for the changing of the guard. Cheers, thank you. This next song is it's inspired by the words of a songwriter from, I just wrote it through the internet many years ago when he could find all this strange, weird and wonderful music. And I came across a guy called Kevin Hume, and the write-up was that he was going to be this badass from New Mexico. He is from New Mexico. And it turned out to be really pastoral, lovely acoustic stuff, partway between, I guess, Bell and Sebastian and Paul Simon. It's a really lovely mix. And he does a song which has the words there, a wild wind that whips the waves, whistles low and misbehaves, and blows the music from its staves. I love the idea of music being blown off the stage, so I imagine sort of hearing it at the other end of the wind. So it's a song called Sea Breeze. It's also my favourite air freshener. So. Mary wears her winter coat, it keeps the chill from off her bones. Sips coffee in a window seat, so she doesn't feel alone. Her knees creak as she rises, but she doesn't mind at all. She'll amble on the seafront, beyond the harbour wall, and look to the horizon and inhale. Voices of the lost sing their melancholy songs on the sea breeze, on the sea breeze. Pair of worn-out lovers hungover stayed awake all night. They dance like Fred and Ginger, and they stumble like Bambi on the ice. And with eyes the size of planets, they hold each other near. And if they stay upright, they'll go rolling down the pier, and look to the horizon and inhale. Were Kevin's words to Anne-Marie, our destination bound on the sea breeze, on the sea breeze. Billy watched his father struggle and work his fingers to the bone. He wants to go to college, there's nothing but a bed for him at home. stands above the tide line. Like many times before, a stranger in his house, he wanders on the shore to look to the horizon and inhale, tilt his head and listen to hear the silence call on the sea breeze, on the sea breeze. There's a melody to hear on the sea breeze, on the sea breeze. There's a melody to hear on the sea breeze, on the sea breeze. There's a melody to hear on the sea breeze. Thank you. Next song is about my favourite day of the year, about the first day of spring. It sang this for a while. It's not the first swallow, it's not the first of May, it's not the first cuckoo. It's when the local council start taking your garden rubbish away. Seriously, I don't know what it's like for anybody outside the area, but here they stop in November and start in March. And any gardener, worth anything, will know that most of your heavy pruning occurs midwinter. So you're left with like a bomb site, you know, remnants of Hurricane Tartan in your back garden, you know. So. Just a song called Green Bin Day. Not to be confused with Blue Monday. Whamageddon in the year-end excess, or thankfully now left behind. A pale sun refuses to donate any warmth to a world that's both cold and unkind. The decks are back in the attic, geese are still high on the wing. I'm waiting for Green Bin Day and the welcome return of the spring. My smart meter's grinning while it climbs into the red. It's giving me a psychotic twitch. We've spent £12.50 already today, so please step away from the switch. There's a pile of rotten logs in my garden, upon which a robin does sing a song about Green Bin Day and the welcome return of the spring. It seems a long time since I pruned my bush, Mary said to the parson. It's all I can do to keep myself warm without resorting to arson. Those nocturnal cramps and the chill in my bones, reflecting my facial contortions. So I'm counting my blessings as well as my ailments to give myself a sense of proportion. So when the crocus pops up on the lawn, I'll make a dish that's fit for a king and raise a glass to Green Bin Day and the the welcome return of the spring. So when the crocus pops up on the lawn, I'll make a dish that's fit for a king, and raise a glass to Green Bin Day and the welcome return of the spring. The welcome return of the spring. The welcome return of the spring. Yes, thank you. Get off.
Now this is where you find out. Do we want him off or do you want another one? Thank you very much. Well, that was very unique.
No, I'd just like to say a big thank you to Adele for having to play here. It's not a taking that you're going to be asked to play. It's a privilege, so thank you very much. I'm going to do one which I picked up a while ago, which I haven't sung since something like 2018. It's a song about, I guess it's about fickle winds of fate. How the slightest thing can nudge your whole life in a different direction when you look back. It's a song called All the Trains. Like I said, it's just trying to find its way back in. Called All the Trains. I'm rooted in this moment, a captive of this time. I could have been another, but that life wasn't mine. Like the boy who broke his arm so couldn't go to war, when the soldier boys came knocking at his door. Well, I could have been 6 feet under, and not just 6 feet tall. We are the dice man, we are chances all. We are could have beens and might have beens, wrong turns and mistakes, and endless choices where other lives await. Down all the roads untravelled of those we never kissed, all the unrequited love and all the trains we missed. Here I stand on solid ground, my favourite piece of earth. The crooked path which led me here was laid before my birth. So I'm rooted in this moment, a captive in this time. I could have been another, but that life wasn't mine. Down all the roads untravelled of those we never kissed, all the unrequited love and all the trains we missed. Down all the roads untravelled of those we never kissed, all the unrequited love and all the trains we missed. Thank you very much indeed. Cheers.